Greetings, beautiful earthlings. My name is Star. If you are new here, I don't know how you found me, but I am super glad you did. And if you are returning, y'all, the real MVP, you already know. First off, I want to say if you are brand new to my channel, hi, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. And if you have been lurking for a while, why don't you go ahead and hit that little subscribe button down there, as well as the post notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a video, because I don't upload regularly. And another way to keep up with my content uploads is going to be through my socials, and all that information is always in the description box for you guys. But let's go ahead and get into today's video, friends. So today, this is a question I get time and time again, and I'm sure I will continue to get it for the rest of my life because I have chosen teaching tarot as a path. So the question is, what is the difference between the tarot deck and the oracle deck, and which one should you start with as a beginner? So let's go ahead and start off with what is tarot. So this here is my trusty Centennial Rider-Waite Centennial in a tin, right? This is why it's a smaller deck, but you guys already know if you are learning tarot in 2020 or beyond, this is the deck you are probably the most familiar with, the imagery you're most familiar with. That is the Rider-Waite. That is the normal kind of base of tarot. It seems that when you think of tarot, you are thinking of the Rider-Waite imagery. It is commonly synonymous with the word tarot. But there are tons of tarot decks long before the time of the Rider-Waite tarot, right? We are not going to get into that here because even I don't know the full history of tarot. There's a lot to it. But chances are, if you are starting out tarot, people are going to tell you to start with a Rider-Waite deck. So if you would like to hear a kind of informed argument on that, I will link my video in the description box for you guys of why you should start with the Rider-Waite tarot versus a cutesy tarot deck like the Mystic Mondays deck. So let's go ahead and keep moving before I start talking about that. But the tarot deck is consisting of 22 major arcana cards. Those are your big life-changing events. They are kind of meant to mirror your life, and they're pretty much like your like the staple events that happen in your life, right? That's just kind of a very diluted description of what major arcanas are. But your lesser arcanas, you've got 56 of those. There are 14 in each suit, and your suits are going to be your swords, your wands, your pentacles, and your chalices or cups. I don't know why I say chalices, but I've picked that up recently. And you already know that your suits do, they are, what is the word I'm looking for? They are elements. That's what I'm gonna say. Your suits are elements. So like your cups are water, your swords are air, your pentacles are earth, and then your wands are fire. And you also have, you know, the zodiac signs that are also a bunch of these cards. That's going to be a video a long time coming from now because I have to get real comfortable with all the zodiac signs in the cards as well before I teach them to you guys. Still working on that one real hard, but so your tarot is very strict to the meaning. That is usually the first thing that I say when people ask me what the difference between tarot and oracle is. Tarot is very strict to the meaning. So you guys already know that your tarot has keywords, your tarot cards have meanings to them, and depending on which deck it is, you will also have upright and reversed meanings. What I mean by depending on which deck is that things like the Modern Witch or the Cosmic Slumber Tarot do not intend to be read reversed, and your tarot is so balanced that you can read without reversals and still get the message you are trying to get, okay? But I did this video quite a few times, and I had a really awesome thing that I said, and I really hope I can get to where I was saying. But your tarot, essentially, even though it is very strict to the meaning, they are kind of meant to be like the grid work for your reading. So being that tarot is a divination tool, it is meant for you to channel not only your guides, but also your clients' guides. So I say this often, it is very important that you first learn to trust your intuition, learn to trust the voice of your guides, learn to trust the voice of your deck. Do lots of meditation to learn how to trust all of those voices, and trust yourself as a reader, you know, also trust that you are getting the correct guidance for the reading and keep flowing with it. So it's a very long process to learn to read tarot. It's not that one day you're going to learn 70 98 cards worth of keywords and you're gonna be a tarot reader. It does not work that way. So I want to make that very clear. Tarot is extremely hard work, and no matter how much research you put into it, you can always learn more, because tarot can be read in lots of different types of readings, like spiritual readings, relationship readings, career readings, things like that, and each of these cards can be interpreted through the lens of that reading. So it is important that you do a whole lot of research when you are learning tarot, my friends. Please don't learn just the keywords and think you are a tarot reader, okay? It takes a long time. That's why most tarot readers you are going to come across have been doing it for tons and tons and tons of years, because it's a huge journey to embark on, okay? So if you guys are intimidated by the tarot, right, because the tarot is just, like I said, the grid work for your reading. So it is essentially the ley lines, the grid work for your reading. So even if you know your keywords and the meanings of those cards, you still need to fill in the blanks, and that's where your intuition comes in. As a reader, that is where connecting with your guides and your clients' guides comes in, to fill in the blanks of that reading, to figure out why those cards came out in that order in relation to each other and how that relates to your client, okay? So that's super, super important. There's a lot that goes into tarot. So I tell people, if you are learning tarot, you don't need a tarot deck right off the bat. It would help to have one to play around with while you are learning, but a lot of people do get tempted when they are beginners, that once they have a tarot deck, they're like, I can read tarot because I have a tarot deck. That's all it takes. No. You should probably do lots of reading and lots of research before you start tarot. But if you feel more comfortable having the actual physical cards to look at while you are learning tarot, that's totally okay too. Because as you can see, there's tons of imagery in these cards, and that is meant to help you remember the meaning of those cards if you cannot remember it off the top of your head. So all of those colors, the positions of the figures, all of the hidden imagery, everything in there is meant to help guide you in that reading, especially if you are a more intuitive reader, right? You have to learn the rules of tarot to learn to break the rules of tarot. So it is important that you learn all of the rules of tarot first, that you learn all of the meanings and the keywords first, and you do good, efficient, correct readings first before you start breaking those rules and feeling your way around intuitively. However, a lot of people do start reading tarot intuitively to begin with by using the colors, using the numbers, using the pictures on the cards to feel their way intuitively through the reading. That is also a good way to start. However, please understand, if you are going to be starting to read tarot intuitively, you're going to be real wrong on those card meanings. So if you're reading intuitively, please make that clear that you are reading intuitively and you specifically don't quite know the meanings yet, or you're not going to be giving the exact meanings of the cards, because that is kind of a false front, right? To act like you know the cards when you don't know the cards. So it's totally okay to read tarot intuitively, okay? I promise, that's how I started. And you will still get the accurate guidance you need for the reading, and you just have to understand that if you have more experienced tarot readers watching your channel, you might get a little backlash about what those cards mean, but it's totally okay, and you can feel free to do that for yourself and for friends to learn to trust your intuition. I also say that you should be reading for friends that you can trust to give you the feedback honestly. So if there is something that you say that you feel is real dead on and it's not, you need to trust that your friends are going to tell you that it's not, so that you can feel intuitively how that feels, as well as feeling your way through that whole energy to get to the correct answer, okay? Because trust me, we're all wrong time and time again, and tarot is not a specific art, right? It's very, very open to interpretation, and especially considering the fact that you can read it through the lens of so many different subjects, okay? But the most important part of tarot is to understand that you do need to learn these meanings, you do need to learn these keywords, you do need to learn the basics and the rules of tarot long before you start breaking them, okay? So don't start breaking them and say, I have a tarot deck, I can do what I want. Please, if you are young, if you are just starting with tarot, even if you're not young and you're starting with tarot, please do your diligence. Why is that so hard for me to say? Do your due diligence and do your research, please. So next we're going to talk about what an oracle deck is, and I have here the Work Your Light Oracle. My goodness, my child is losing her brain out there. So as you can see, the Work Your Light Oracle, this one says just say yes. There is also a no answer in this card, and there are lots of other cards in here like Lemuria, Pleiades, things like that. So with oracle cards, they are meant to be read intuitively by the reader. Okay, that's very important to point out, because I did a reading for somebody one time and they said, well, isn't the oracle meant for me to interpret it openly? No. As a reader, yes. As a client, no. You're supposed to take what your reader tells you as what they are interpreting the energy as, okay? But when you get an oracle deck, my friends, it is imperative that you read the book, because each oracle deck is created for a different purpose, okay? So it is imperative that you read what that purpose is for the oracle cards. It's also imperative to read if they have upright or reversed meanings. A lot of people, when they have an oracle deck, will give people the book definitions of the cards in the reading. A lot of people won't. Oracle cards are meant for you to feel your way through that reading, and you can use these for answers, and you can use these for, again, like grid lines, ley lines, to complement your reading, okay? So if you are a beginner, which of these should you start out with? There is no correct answer here, my friends. If you are willing to put in the time to learn tarot, if you are willing to be a student for a long time before you start reading, before you get your first deck, before you make the commitment to reading, definitely start with tarot. If you are the type of person that wants the instant gratification of reading for people but don't want to put in the work of learning tarot, you can start with an oracle deck. I have seen people start with oracle decks. I have seen people charge for reading oracle decks. It's interesting to me because oracle takes no talent, oracle takes no time, oracle takes no research, right? You just kind of regurgitate what's in the book and there you go, oracle card. So again, you should be feeling your way intuitively through your oracle reading. You should still be connecting with your guides and your clients' guides. If you are going to be reading oracle alone, please don't just read oracle and start charging because you have a deck and you can give them the book definitions. That is, to me, morally unethical. So I really hope that this video helped out some people who are a little bit on the fence about what the difference is between tarot and oracle. Some of you guys who are starting out and have this question for me, I really hope I answered your questions. If I did not, because I am very frazzled from having done this video quite a few times, definitely drop your question in the comment box below for me. You can always feel free to DM me as well if you don't want anyone to know your question. That's totally fine. I'm usually open and around to helping you guys out with your tarot questions, as long as they are tarot and oracle related, right? Please don't DM me and say, girl, your hair looks good today. I don't care. I want to help you guys with your tarot and oracle questions, okay? So if you guys have made it to the end and you like this video, please give me a big old thumbs up. You know, that helps me out so, so much. And if you didn't like this video, that's cool. Thumbs down. You don't have to like my video. Say whatever you want in the comments because y'all do anyway, but I really hope you guys have some questions for me. That would be super awesome. And I really hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day wherever you are when this video reaches you, my friends. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. Namaste.